Imagine for a moment a world reaching for the heavens, a world building a tower, not out of love for God, but, out of pride for themselves. This was the world of Babel, a place scattered by confusion. Yet right in the middle of all these fractured dreams and scattered people, God whispered a promise. He didn't shout from a mountaintop. He didn't write it in the clouds. Instead, he spoke to the heart of just one man, a man named Abram, who would soon be called Abraham. God's voice, it just cut through the noise of a broken world. He offered a new beginning, a fresh start, a journey not built on human ambition, but on divine invitation. Go from your country, he said. Go from your people, your father's household, to the land I will show you. Just think about that for a second. Leave everything you know. Step out into the unknown, all for a promise from a God you're just getting to know. And for Abram, that was enough to begin. He chose to walk by faith, not by sight, into a destiny he was just starting to understand. The journey was long, the days, they were hot, and the nights, well, they were cold. Abram arrived in the land of Canaan, the land God had promised, but it wasn't some empty paradise just waiting for him. It was already occupied. Other people lived there. Doubt could have easily crept in. Was this really the place? Did I hear God correctly? The promise felt so big, and Abram honestly felt so small. He was a stranger in a strange land, a nomad with no permanent home, just a tent and a promise to hold on to. One night, the weight of it all must have felt just so heavy. The years were passing. Sarai was still barren. The promised nation felt like a distant dream. God saw the doubt in Abram's heart. But he didn't scold him. Instead, he met him right where he was. He led him outside his tent and invited him to look up. Look now toward heaven, God said, and count the stars, if you are able to number them. Imagine Abram tilting his head back, his eyes adjusting to the vast, dark sky above, glittering with countless points of light. Then came the promise, as immense as the heavens themselves. So shall your descendants be. In that moment, something just shifted. Faith is a journey, not a destination, and journeys, they often have detours. A severe famine swept through the promised land. The ground became hard and cracked. Fear began to whisper in Abram's ear. The promise of God seemed to fade before an empty stomach. So Abram made a decision. He took matters into his own hands. He looked toward Egypt, known for its mighty river and abundant grain. He trusted Pharaoh's provision over God's promise. He took a detour from faith. The detour was paved with deception. Abram knew Sarai was beautiful. He feared Egyptians would kill him to take her. He concocted a plan, a half-truth. Say you are my sister, he told her. He chose self-preservation over protecting his wife. Fear made him forget God could protect him. Sarai was taken into Pharaoh's palace. In exchange, Abram received sheep, cattle, servants. He got what he thought he wanted, safety and wealth. But he lost his integrity. Sleepless nights and guilt followed. But God is faithful even when we are not. He intervened. He sent plagues on Pharaoh's house, revealing truth. Pharaoh, angry and afraid, summoned Abram. The lie was exposed and they were sent away. Abram left Egypt with possessions and a heavy lesson. Years continued to pass. The promise of a son echoed in their hearts, but their tent remained quiet. Sarai's hope began to wither. She watched the years carve lines on her face and felt the emptiness in her arms. So, like Abram in Egypt, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She looked at her Egyptian maidservant, Hagar, and she devised a plan common in her culture but outside of God's specific promise. She would build her family through Hagar. Go, sleep with my maidservant, Sarai told Abram. Perhaps I can build a family through her. Abram agreed. He listened to his wife's pain instead of God's patience. Hagar conceived and everything changed. The plan meant to solve things brought division. Hagar grew proud when pregnant. Sarai grew bitter and mistreated her. Hagar fled into the wilderness, hurt and alone, a victim of a plan she did not create, an outcast, carrying a child of promise, yet running from the people of promise. But God sees the outcast. An angel of the Lord found Hagar by a spring in the desert. He didn't condemn her. He told her she would have a son, and she should name him Ishmael, which means God hears. Hagar returned. Ishmael was born. After 13 years of silence, God appeared to Abram again. It was time for a renewal. God came to reaffirm his covenant, to make it even more personal. He changed Abram's name to Abraham, father of many nations. He changed Sarai's name to Sarah, princess. These new names were not just labels, they were declarations of destiny. Then God gave the most impossible news of all. I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son. Sarah, 90, listening inside the tent, overheard. And she laughed, not a laugh of joy, a laugh of disbelief, born from a lifetime of disappointment, the laugh of a woman who had given up hope. God heard her laugh. He gently challenged her doubt. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Is any situation too broken? Is any heart too old? Is any dream too dead for God to revive? God's promises don't depend on biology or time. They depend only on His limitless power. He is the God of the impossible. The God who speaks worlds into being can bring life to a barren womb. Yet God's promise remained the unwavering anchor for his soul. God's faithfulness didn't depend on Abraham's perfection. It depended on God's character. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is too hard for the Lord.